Greetings, everybody. We're going to talk today about, big topic, Spielberg's Disclosure Day, the mini-series Taken that he did. There's a mini-series Anomaly now free on YouTube. The second one dropped. It looks really interesting. I think they've done a good job. And disclose some things in case I'm taken out or accidented or random violence. They try to random violence me a couple of times in the last 13 months, and we'll see what happens now. So anyone that's going to talk shit or click off, you should probably realize that I have gotten my videos, a large sample of them anyway, to Congress. The people in charge of the congressional committee that look on it and validate it found them credible and kicked them up to DOD. Today is 13 months since I've been seeing UFOs, UAPs, NHI very, very regularly, like close encounters of the fourth kind, very close proximity interactions, that kind of thing, like third plus, not just see them get out of a ship kind of thing. It's not exactly like the movies, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Last night, driving all around the city, I had what I am going to either consider very advanced tech or NHIs following me literally all around the city. And then when I finally decided to leave, when I decided to hunker down because I just couldn't handle it, when I decided to leave, I did see a fast mover across the sky, which might have been the real deal. Could potentially be a lone satellite, right? My eyes have been pretty trained in the last 13 months. But then, micro drone. Why do I say micro drone? Because about probably 4 weeks ago on a Friday, I saw mid-sized orbs at lower elevation, not just high elevation orbs. And I also barely caught these micro drones, not the big ones that have been on me for over a year of drone non-stop targeted individual harassment, but itty-bitty ones that I could barely make out. But guess what? Old guy got prescription glasses. And so when I can't see him, can barely see him. Can't see him, can barely see him. Well, those have been on me. There was I think 2 or 3. This was before I left. I made a post on X, which they don't like. So I'm completely monitored. People view it, but nobody responds on X. Most stuff has been hidden in the last year. Sometimes pictures would be allowed to be seen, but any videos I would upload, nobody could really see those kind of thing, other than whatever agencies are monitoring me, of which I am sure there are a few alphabet soups because they are involved in crimes against me. Okay? When I got home, there was at least 6 of the drones. I have 2 videos trying to zoom in on the itty-bitty drones, and it's hard to get on the camera even with 10x zoom, but I've got a year of showing. As soon as I get out of my vehicle when I get home, there's regular was 3, last night was 6. One time they effed up and did 8, and then I'm like, I messaged some people on X or in the administration that maybe aren't on their side or could have some pull with legal things, and that backs them off a little bit kind of thing. But last night 6. Saw my third mover of the night last night, like a quick mover that didn't seem like one of their tech things. Again, I have to admit, could potentially be a satellite, but a very kind of quick mover, and at least 6 of these mini drones on video. And then I took a video I did post on my main channel last night, hoping that enough people would see that if I was suddenly like, the very rich neighborhood I live in, not my money, but the very rich neighborhood I live in, if there was a random home invasion, people would go, yeah, that's kind of weird. But after I post the video of a fake orb drone. Now, I do believe I've seen very real things. I want to discuss these very real things and these very found credible by Congress and kicked up to DOD videos with people like Joe Rogan, Danny Jones, Julian Dorsey, Tucker, someone like that would look at these things and show the video footage credibly. Okay. To the people. I've seen real stuff. But just because there is real stuff going on doesn't mean it's one or the other. PsyOp Central. So, after the first few, it's a whole story. Eventually, I got my contract security job. Things were great. They loved me when I was ace, the only 1-2 perfect score on the handgun quals that whole week of firearms. But unfortunately, some roommate blabbed that I was watching the Aliens movies, which I did, because I never had watched Aliens 3 and 4 because I didn't like them as a kid. And I rewatched it. I'm like, oh, I see what they were going with this. I was watching action movies, not alien stuff, but that got out to a guy who used to do Department of Defense, something like that. Middle East DOD stuff, whatever they call it, the other department I can't think of right now. And then they started acting weird at the end of that. Well, when I showed up at my first night of work in a federal building, as soon as I go get off the elevator, a guy warns me of MKultra. You should really watch this movie about MKultra. They like to grab guys with special abilities like Muay Thai and stuff. That guy should have known nothing about my martial arts background. Wasn't in my case. He's an Army guy, former and or current, maybe PsyOp group that worked there on the weekends. He suddenly vanished, no called, no showed for about 3 weeks, and then was supposed to show up maybe to stuff me on July 4th. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah. July 3rd is when I got footage of my first close encounter of the third kind with an entity that seemingly got out of one of the 2 Tic Tacs above federal property right next to Tim Burchett's office. I had access to both those buildings. Okay? This is very serious. This is not a joke. I've had drone harassment for 13 months. I'm tagging people in the administration. Some of them probably know what's going on by this point. I've bugged Sec Warren, D&I Gabbard a bunch. Now, I think she would probably be down on my side to what the fuck are we doing against U.S. civilians on U.S. soil, psyoping, tech testing, probably microwave EM shit as well. Not good. So listen to everything like Dylan Borland's talked about. It's been done to me. Tales of cars, it's been done to me. Drone harassment nonstop, it's been done to me. That's all very real. I've been living an insane life for the last 13 months. This is all going to get hidden. I was supposed to talk about Disclosure Day and stuff first. So I haven't seen it, and spoiler alert, I've only read a couple people's breakdowns of it. But I said, the movie, he did a miniseries, Taken. There was an awful lot of very strange, didn't fit, just gratuitous, what I called violence against women and children porn in it. Didn't even make sense in the sci-fi thing. Living out fantasies of hurting women, murdering women, almost running children down with a semi that made no sense at all. That was just thrown in there, because these people are sick. Look at a lot of other stuff. People like Spielbergers and Peoples with Their Names have done. Yeah. Everything he's, from Color Purple to Emperor of the Sun to Indiana Jones, etc., etc., etc. Gremlins, even, children in bad situations, scary situations, almost adrenaline spiking situations. Apparently, Disclosure Day, let's just say I think in the movie, from what I've heard, bad things happen to children. And it's all about forgiveness. We're supposed to forgive the people that did psychological, traumatic things to children, sexual things against children, and terrorizing things against children. But it's all about forgiveness. We've seen a few of those in the last few years. If you people could just have an IQ and read between the lines of what they're pushing. Okay. So it's been a wild 13 months. I am not happy about 6 drones I don't know if they're ever going to... I mean, I've had tails. I've had vehicles out of nowhere in the rain from a bank on my tail with government plates. I've had, like, follow me, and then I know they're following me, and I go to my grocery store and I do a lap, and they don't park close to the store. They don't go in. They're out there, you know, intimidation tactic stuff. And if you listen anything in the kind of UFO community, you know, these tactics are a known thing. Now, there's a lot of bad apples. In fact, most of them probably are. A lot of these podcasters and stuff very much, I think, have handlers. Those people have handlers. They've been put in positions. They suddenly got big podcasts. It's talking mostly about the UFO, UAP guys now. And some of them, I love disclosure. And then you see who are they associated with or who they worked with. What are those people involved with? Do those people worship Satan? Do they, you know, a lot of strange things, right? A lot of strange things going on. So today I've seen 2 UAP, at least one, and the other one I think so. Just happened to like look up, and I don't think it was there for me. Just a little white orb. I don't even want to call it a Tic Tac. I don't think it was big enough to be a Tic Tac. Probably like the medium-sized orbs. I didn't get all 3. There was 3 to 6. I didn't get the initial on video, but I got a little bit of the end on video. I got all kinds of stuff. But I estimate 500 to 750 miles an hour, maybe 900, faster than an airplane. Just zoom. Oh, okay. And then a little while ago, I'm like, is that a plane? And I'm thinking, is that a plane or a UAP? Maybe you'll see the video. And I can't tell because there's so much reflective light coming off the screen. But in the video, you can see once I connect to it, it kind of slows down and starts getting herky-jerky. And you can see it like literally like reverses momentum. I've had quite a few videos like that, and even a more extreme one of something coming into the atmosphere and reversing momentum completely. Kind of comes back, and I'm like, once you rewatch, it's obviously not. I mean, to me, it's obviously not a plane. I don't know how you could explain that when you can reference it. I take the videos in between these wires so you have a visual reference to see the movement. And some of you are like, oh, you'd blow off watching slow motion, zoom in on things, and pay attention to things. So is it all fake? I don't think so, because I've seen some real things, and I try to convey that a lot of the real things that I've seen have been very, very, very good. So I don't like it's all evil, and I don't like that it's all good and benign, because of course they're benign. The real good ones are benign, not the fake benign, not the fake ones you want to align with because murdering children and doing other bad things to them is maybe okay with certain others if there are these other things, whether they're demonic probably or other, and not all are, but it's hard to explain. So that's just today. Besides these other things that are either tech always following me and always messing with me, and no, I'm not crazy, never had mental illness problems, not on drugs, not a drinker, nothing like that. I mean, I was just background checked for a federal job, and the first thing when the doors open, someone really warning me about MKultra, and I just happened to think that I was drugged, straight-laced guy that's never done psychedelics, with LSD or some other psychedelic that night in my water, and 2 Fridays after that, they managed to get me twice, where I'm trying to work a job, do my rounds, and yet I'm scared, like, who's after me and stuff. And I know there's some hidden floor, there's hidden unmarked rooms, and I gotta be careful, but some strangeness going on. Strangeness with what reality is overall, perhaps, and that's the thing that might get me hurt the most. Strangeness with reality the most. This visual, holographic, simulated reality kind of thing. And I got some footage about that too. But that's on a level that even most people coming after me probably don't know or can't handle. So it's very, very strange. I have seen what I think are real things from as big as biblical to Ophanum, angel eggs, which might be, honestly, I think that is not our tech. I think that is biblically like time travelers or something, visitors looking down in these eggs, and there has been recovered eggs and things like that. In the second dump, I know the third just happened, but in the second dump, there's 3 things in there that totally correlate to 3 of my videos that have been found critical. Just mine are closer and personal. They're not half mile away on a FLIR camera. They're filmed on my shitty cell phone, but up close and completely match 3 of the things that were in the second dump, including aerial organics and orbs and things like that. And there's little orb beings. I've seen mid-sized orbs. I've seen the big Ophanum eggs. I don't know if those are related to the mid-sized orbs or the tiny little orb light beings. And I don't think they were. I don't know how they would fake the light beings, though they faked a big orb on me last night, and I've seen that 3 times. So let's go back to that. I have seen this VTOL kind of thruster drone, and I have other obvious technology thruster drones, including on July 4th last year on video. I live between Oak Ridge and Knoxville, and I believe the PsyOp was probably started by CIA remnants and probably an Army unit, maybe in the northwest of Tennessee / state above, probably started with Army and CIA, but I think it's either DOD or DOE. If it's DOD, that's a much bigger political problem for people than if it's actually DOE, which makes more sense to me. That's DOE and DARPA, combined with whoever it is with some of this tech. Lockheed Martin comes to mind, Palantir comes to mind. The big one we should be worried about, maybe Raytheon, because I got a email from a guy who just happened to work at Raytheon asking me about copper expanding bullets. I'm like, where do you work? I don't know. So maybe. And I haven't named those names fully before, because I'd like to stay alive. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, kind of, right? I'm ready to pass on from here and go on to the next level above, because things are very strange. But what they do is, if you see the real deal or you see their real tech, and that goes further into my story I've told a little bit before. If you see black tech, top secret stuff they don't want you to see, they will PsyOp you so you do sound crazy to friends and family and whoever, or they'll pick on a lonely guy who's not married and is kind of a loner, that's a little bit autistic, with high spatial intelligence, to test some of their stuff to see if I can spot. And all I've been saying is, put me on the payroll, motherfuckers. Just put me on the payroll. Make me sign an NDA. Not that I want to, but I would feel like my life wasn't in jeopardy all the time. So with real whistleblowers, they put you in a big disparity of force, and they make you on constant eggshells. And like, quite literally, I don't think today was that. Now, the instantaneous acceleration Tic Tac that went probably 80,000 miles an hour, I got my second day on video. That might have been them. That might be ARV, Lockheed Martin technology. Like, totally. Like, I totally believe that. But the thing I saw today, I don't think it was. So, like, you see the real stuff, and they bombard you, and they've even done this orb drone thing. I got it. I am surprised. I talking in the camera. Some 18, 20-year-old kid on a fucking computer last night probably got fucking yelled at, because I'm like, fly by me. Come down, fly by me. Come to daddy. And I got it on video. There's nothing that loiters for like 5-6 minutes, and it's the second time it's done it, and then come at me. And I also witnessed it with 2 female witnesses outside fucking Kroger's one night. And I'm like, look at that. Isn't that weird? And they're like, oh my God, it is, because it's an orb in the sky. So they do have PsyOp orbs too, Luna. That doesn't mean all of them are fake, because they have plasma and patents and everything else. So let me wrap that up, because I'm running out of time. I do want to testify and talk about what I believe to be real stuff I've seen. I would like to talk, on any of the big podcasters. If anyone has influence, or my old jiu-jitsu rolling partner, Joe, the footage I can give you, it's my private footage. I own the rights. I have the footage. It's been deemed credible by the Congressional UAP Committee and kicked up. However, some of these Congress people are also a little bit just talking around, hand-me-down out of their asses, too. Like, oh, we see a bank at a 90 degrees and you'd be splattered against the wall. Well, I guess they haven't read the 2017 Navy pens. So a lot of the black tech can fake to be this. That doesn't mean that some of it's not actual ARV reproduction vehicles. And, you know, high tech from the Nazis. And I mean, there's a whole thing here. Like, we've been infiltrated, and the aerospace technology has always been linked with Nazis and Satanists, occultist behavior, JPL, California, even the murders, like all Manson, like all of it. Like, look into it. But yeah, the patents, yes, yeah, we probably do have stuff that can do like the real deal stuff, probably, including transient in water and out, because read the patents. A lot of people aren't smart enough to understand some of this stuff. I am, okay? So, and some of, if you look on other sites, I talk about it in some of the drone technology and whatnot. Like, because if you can make it so there's reduced airflow in front of where you're moving, you're not having the wind resistance, right? Or water resistance. So, I didn't know where I was going to go with this, but be careful of what you listen to. There is stuff, but then that doesn't mean that don't. Like Reagan said, we're from the government and we're here to help. They will absolutely use everything to twist everything and manipulate and gain as much, even more power than they already have. So that's everyone. I'm not crazy. Comment down below. Be nice and stay safe. Kaboom.